Hi everyone, it's Jeannie with Makers Unify, and today I am going to make a little dog bed out of this box that I picked up at the thrift store. And while you're taking a moment to look at this beautiful box, if you could go ahead and subscribe and like this video, that would be awesome. I went ahead and sprayed this box that I picked up at Salvation Army, spray painted it black, and I took the handle off. And then I'm going to go over it with the sander and sand it a little bit to bring up some of this brown. And this was inspired by Yvette from Ginger Chick Rehab. She had done something similar for a tray. So this is the transfer stencil. It's not a transfer stencil, it's a stencil. So I went ahead and cut it off on my Cameo 4. And having a little bit of hard time here peeling it off. It ends up peeling off. The paper on the back ends up peeling off on my my mat, which is no big deal. I just scraped it all off. Yeah, so this mat's pretty sticky. The bottom half doesn't stick or rip, which is good because that's the part I want to keep that I didn't use. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this half off, and it's going to have the stencil part of it on the top, and I have to go through, and this is like really sticky stencil. This is my first time using it, so I have to go through and poke the letters through so that I have the stencil part of it. So I finally have all the letters punched through, and I'm going to go ahead and center this. I did use my ruler a little bit. I used more of the eyeball method. And what it says Miss T Crate Company. Miss T is the name of my little dog that this bed is for. And I go ahead, I'm going to use the Valspar Chalky Finish paint to stencil this on. This is my first time stenciling, and I don't know if it was the little stenciling tool or sponge that I used, but it made the paint kind of bubble. Maybe I didn't wait long enough for it to dry. I think in hindsight I would have gone over it a little bit with a regular paintbrush, but it was kind of bubbly, and I don't know why. If you know, let me know in the comments of what I should do next time I try stenciling. The other thing that I messed up when I was cutting out the stencil was the E, the A, and the O. I didn't do that properly, and so they came out in the middle, but I was able to stick those back in, and then after they dry, I will peel them off. For the cushion of the dog bed, I'm going to use this drop cloth, and here I am taping down a couple pieces of cardboard that are pretty sturdy, but I glued 2 of them together to make it a little bit more sturdy. And I'm going to go ahead and flip this over and stamp it. The IOD stamp that I am using is out of their Queen Bee collection, which makes sense because Miss T is the little queen bee of the house. So I'm going to go ahead and arrange the stamps how I want them and kind of see how they fit on the cushion. Find the center of the cushion and go ahead and line up the stamps. Ink them up, I guess, with this black ink. I'm just going to do the center part first, and then I'll do the outside second. So I'm going to gently press down on the stamp, trying not to move it too much, and then go ahead and gently lift off. And I'm going to take out the center stamps and do the side stamps. So now I'm trying to figure out how much fluff I want to use. And I think I figured like 4 inches would be good. So I go ahead and cut this off, and I put the cardboard that I'm going to use on the bottom. I'll put on top of the fluff, and then I'm going to wrap the drop cloth around and just hot glue it down. Nothing fancy. It's going to go in this box, and it won't need to be a perfect fit, but just enough to touch the edges. For the feet of the dog bed, I'm using these feet that you see on the left-hand side here. They were longer. I cut them in half so I can use the white ones that are going to be used for another project, and the other ones, the one that I have in my hand, is going to be used for the dog bed. So I just mixed some of the folk art antiquing wax with water. I'm going to go ahead and brush it on and wipe it off to give it that antique look. And if you'll see on the riser feet or whatever, there's like a pin sticking out. It's not even a screw, it's like a pin. And I didn't want to have to deal with putting holes in the box and figuring all that out. So I ended up just getting a hammer and putting it on the floor and hammering those pins down. So now what I'm going to do is take some sandpaper and rough this up a little bit, and the stenciling, and then I will wipe it off and again use the antiquing wax to make it blend a little bit better with the box. Once I'm done with the antiquing wax, I will go over it with the Valspar sealing wax. I will go over the outside of the box to give it a little bit more protection. So here is the final product. Miss T is definitely the queen bee of the house, and she does go in the bed occasionally. I have a picture coming up of her lying in the bed. She's a 14-year-old Yorkie poo.